This week's best MMA bets, we're talking Bellator 273 and Eagle FC 44. Two good cards coming up. Smash that like button, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn those post notifications on. We'll do the show as we always do. We'll start with the locks of the night. We'll work towards dogs, parlays, and props. Can't wait to get into each subject. We're going to first start with the Bellator locks of the night. So in Bellator, lock number one that I am feeling here is going to be Valentin Moldavsky, and new heavyweight champion. I believe he beats Ryan Bader. Value of him is sitting around the minus 250 range. I think that's a pretty decent money line bet. It is a bit wide, but I think there's a really high likelihood he wins. If you're throwing multiple units at it, I think that's a solid play. I like Moldavsky a lot. I expect him to beat Ryan Bader, potentially even finish Bader in this match. Now, the next of the locks of the night, value still isn't fantastic on this one, but it's Jaleel Willis. He's a minus 225 favorite. I feel like there's high likelihood he beats Sabah Homasi, though respect the power of Homasi coming at him. It could potentially do damage, but I think likelihood moderately to very low. I feel like we're going to see Jaleel Willis work his game, potentially out-grappling Sabah, putting him on the ground, controlling against the cage, being the physically stronger guy and winning a hard-fought decision. I really do see him getting it done. It's the minus 225 tag. I like definitely the Moldavsky play more so than Willis. The final of the locks of the night for Bellator. I love this play. It's Aiden Lee. He's minus 115. That is fantastic value, near even money. Lock of the night, Aiden Lee. I do think he gets it done. I think that's a solid play. Now, of course, there are other locks of the night on this Bellator card, but I'm not giving you odds that just have no value. Like, obviously, we're looking at the card here in front of me. You have Nikita Mikhailev minus 850 over Blaine Shutt. That's not a playable option, really. Looking towards Dalton Rosta minus 760. Even Islam Mamedov minus 380. I do think he probably beats Benson Henderson, but to play it at that tag, not necessarily worth it. I'd rather sit out on those extremely wide odds. Now, I will jump to the dog section. Reason is the locks of the night, value-wise, as far as Eagle FC goes, is kind of similar to a Bellator situation. I'm feeling like I more want to jump on the dogs of Eagle FC than playing these wide favorites. So dog number one, we'll do it with Eagle FC. It is going to be, and honestly my favorite one, plus 125, Cody Gibson to beat Ray Borg. I really do see Gibson working him over for 3 rounds. I think he can out-wrestle him. He can outstrike him. Significant height and reach advantage, all favoring Cody Gibson. He gets to win. He's plus money. I love that play, plus 125. I do think he gets it done. Now, the next dog of the night, I'm going to call it a be wary dog. This is, I guess, a potential heartfelt play, as well as I really do feel Rashad Evans is coming in better, and I don't think Checo is that good of a fighter. You look at the odds, it's plus 200 for Rashad Evans. Checo does have a nasty jiu-jitsu game, but can he go out there, out-muscle, out-wrestle Rashad? It's a 41-year-old Rashad, so shooting at him would be an inherent risk. He's an older guy, but at plus 200, it might be worth a little something of a play. It's definitely a dog that I'm picking here. I have to go with Rashad. I do feel like he's coming back ready and prepared. He's had a long layoff, time to recover. I expect Rashad Evans to go out there looking decent and getting the win over Gabriel Checo. He is an underdog that I'm kind of feeling, not loving though. Now, looking towards some of the other underdogs on the card, I think we have to talk about DeMarcus Jackson to potentially win against Miles Hunzinger. He's plus 160. Hunzinger's got a really iffy striking game, though he is a good wrestler. Jackson struggles with takedown defense. If Hunzinger can work the takedowns and Jackson also can't find the way up, I definitely think he could go out and win a decision, but I still think there's opportunities for DeMarcus Jackson to land the knockout shots, potentially even winning a decision here, landing the more significant strikes. So definitely a playable fighter at plus 160. This one's going to be a bit of a stretch type dog, but I like John Doomsday Howard potentially to knock out Ramazan Kurmagomedov. He has been dropped in the past. John Howard always has power. He knocked out Ray Cooper III. That is the champion in PFL this season. I feel like you have to note it. It's like John Howard, Doomsday. He's a tricky guy to deal with. He's well-rounded. He's gritty. He's a guy that's hard to fight because he's going to bring that 100% pace, and he has a solid punch. If he lands, he can hurt you. He's a serious underdog, plus 350. Definitely one that I'm looking at. Now, jumping towards the Bellator dogs because I really do like a couple dogs over in Bellator. First one has to be Big Tuna to get the win. I think Ben Parrish, value for him right now. Parrish sitting at about plus 160. I think he can go out there and get a win over Sullivan Cauley, finishing him too. I feel like Ben Parrish does bring that finishing ability. He's high level, was unbeaten as an amateur, a guy with a nasty striking game. His only loss is an injury loss. He snapped his leg and he's bounced back beautifully, knocked out Christian Edwards quickly in the last one. I got to go with Big Tuna, Ben Parrish as a big dog. And also Darian Caldwell. I think he can beat Enrique Barzola. He's a plus 110 dog. I think this is also like a good UFC versus Bellator comparison fight. I do think Caldwell can control him potentially in the wrestling situations. I don't think Barzola goes down easy, but I think Caldwell works towards the decision. He is plus money, and I like it enough so to call it a dog of the night, plus 110. As far as, like, if we want to just quickly look at value style betting, I just want to bring up a couple. Like, if you look towards these huge favorites on the Eagle FC card especially, I'm jumping there now, Loik Razabov, minus 450. Not really super playable. Sitik Mudeev, he's fighting Ayadi Madarjin. He's a minus 300 favorite, but it's like you've seen a limited amount on this guy. Like, for that value, normally I would consider putting a minus 300 that I'm feeling confident as a lock, but I don't feel the experience level is there for Mudeev. I feel like as far as locks, like I think Tyrone Spong probably could knock Karatanov out, but Karatanov has so much more MMA experience that I don't feel comfortable calling him a lock. So there's some reasoning behind lacking the locks over at Eagle FC. And you look at odds, they're really widespread fights on a couple. Raymond Magomed Aliev, who I do think wins, he's a minus 600 favorite. So unplayable in some spots. I prefer some underdogs on this card. I do think there are some definitely potential good ones. As far as Bellator, same type of thing. There's some wide favorites. I like some of the dogs here. I think there's good value and there's some nice upside. I think there's going to be some big cashers on this card, and I am looking forward to betting it. Those are the locks and the dogs. I do want to talk the props now. The first one that I will mention, this is going to be in no particular, Bellator Eagle FC. We'll just jump to what's available and we'll go for what I'm liking right now. Out the gate, Cody Gibson to win by decision over at Eagle FC is plus 225. I love that line. I see him winning a decision over Ray Borg. I think he's worth a play. He should not be an underdog here. It's because of Borg's UFC experience coming in, but Gibson's a hell matchup. Now, looking towards Bellator, Valentin Moldavsky to knock out Ryan Bader, it's entirely possible. Value of that is plus 155. I think that's a decent enough play. Not amazing, but as big as a favorite as he is, around minus 250 or even more in some spots, you still get nice plus money for heavyweights, where Moldavsky's got the dexterity to kick high. Bader's been knocked out in his past 2 losses down at light heavyweight. He could lose by stoppage again here. So definitely a valuable potential play. Caldwell wins by decision. I think he beats Barzola by decision. I have him as a dog. I like him at that plus 200 for the prop as well. And then you jump towards maybe Doomsday Howard. You play him over Kurmagomedov for knockout, plus 850. I think that's the Hail Mary play of the week, really. I'm liking that one. I'm thinking about playing it. John Howard, plus 850. Actually, I'm definitely going to play it because you're getting a ton back for it, and he's a proven guy to have knockout power. If you knock out Ray Cooper III, you can knock out Kurmagomedov here. And now I would say Ben Parrish by KO. Unfortunately, I don't have a knockout prop for that fight, which is disappointing. I wish I did. Hopefully we get it for the weigh-in recap show. But if we don't, there's inside the distance. It's plus 250. I do think Parrish gets it done inside of the distance. So some props there. Be cautious with your betting in general as far as Eagle FC and Bellator goes. But really, when you get into the prop side of things, keep it close. Really only play ones that you're feeling strongly inside of you. Now, I will talk some parlays as we always finish it out. We got to get into the parlays. Eagle FC only. I'm not going nuts with parlays. I go DeCastro Gibson. It's plus 175. Jorgen DeCastro is going to run through Sean Asher. It won't be close. I feel like that's an easy fight. Unfortunately, we don't have the props out for that fight as of yet. Hopefully, with the weigh-in recap show, we potentially can. I'm liking DeCastro to run through him. With Gibson, Gibson's already a plus 125 dog. You add in DeCastro, it brings you to plus 175. Not going to call it a sure thing, but I think pretty high likelihood that we see both those fighters getting wins on that Eagle FC card. That's really all I'm leaning towards for a straight Eagle FC play. Now, if I'm jumping to Bellator only, I like Moldavsky, I like Lee, Aiden Lee, and I like Jaleel Willis, plus 250. I think that's a pretty swell play. And then if you wanted to play with it a little more, Moldavsky and Caldwell, adding in a strong favorite and an underdog. Caldwell, former champion in Bellator, deserves some respect out there. I think he beats Barzola, plus 190. I think that's a valuable play. As far as a cross parlay, it's going to depend if your bookie allows this. If you can, I like Gibson, Moldavsky, and Lee at plus 450. I think that is an awesome play. With Bellator and especially Eagle FC, I'm keeping the parlays more on the small side. 2-3 fighters max. If you want to go crazy and add in, a 5-fighter parlay, maybe you want to add in, a couple of the Bellator locks with some of the Eagle dogs or potentially with some Bellator dogs, and you really want to go nuts with a parlay, of course you can. But I would say keep it on the more cautious side of things. You don't want to go nuts betting on Bellator and Eagle. Play your smart plays, loving the money lines, some dog pickups. Save the major bankroll for UFC. That's at least my take. Ultimately, you guys do what feels right. Overall, that is this week's best MMA bets. A lot of fun talking about these cards. I can't wait to pump out more content for them. Much love, and thank everybody for tuning into the show. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. Make sure to smash that like button as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.